All right, so here I am with Sherry, and we are excited to be collaborating on an event called Menstrual Awareness Day. And Sherry is going to be leading us in an all-important grounding and mindfulness meditation at the beginning of our event. So I wanted to bring Sherry on and talk about some of the benefits and what she's learned about life through mindfulness. So welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to join the event also on Tuesday. I'm looking forward.
Cool. So tell me, this is, some of the benefits that you found in your life since using the practice of mindfulness.
Oh, wow. Okay. So for me, this is endless. And it's a continuous transformation. My mindfulness practices actually started when I was quite young through martial arts. That's where my foundation is in mindfulness and meditation. But in general terms, if I could put it in a nutshell, more than anything, it allows me to move away from reacting to responding. So we all have those knee-jerk reactions as humans, and being able to see when those moments are coming up, especially if I'm dealing with fear or anger, and making choices and looking at life through a different lens rather than being driven by those emotions. Also just being able to really appreciate the things that I have in this life and that's available to me. So the gratitude, which, as we know, begets more gratitude and attracts that positive energy. And also in dealing with adversity in life, instead of being driven away by challenges, learning to embrace them, accept them as opportunities to learn and grow. So if I had to put it in a nutshell, that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you also have children.
I do.
And that helps.
Yes. Oh, very much so. And I think for me as a mom, it's really more about savoring the moments where I would generally get frustrated. For example, if I'm breastfeeding or I'm just feeling really exhausted and just needing some time out to myself, taking a step back and being able to appreciate the fact that, they're not going to be 2 or 3 months old forever, and to take the time to linger over their facial features and change the way that I'm thinking about the situation, which that has helped a lot. As you know, when you're a new mom and you have that sleep deprivation that kicks in, everything just seems to I call it crossing over to the dark side. Mm-hmm. So that has helped me a lot when becoming and transforming, stepping into that new mother role.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And you also worked a lot in educational sphere as well, right? In classrooms and schools.
Yes, that is correct. I'm recently moved from Thailand, where I worked with international schools. I worked as a mindfulness specialist, is what the title is that they gave me, where essentially I was an on-site mindfulness facilitator. So I worked with not only the children, but the staff, parents, and even the teachers, which was a real treat. And I learned a lot there.
And what sort of changes did the school end up experiencing as a result of your work there?
I would say the most impact that I saw is coming from, especially when you get to work with the children I was working with them from like first grade all the way up to even high school. But because I was there for 6 years, I saw the, the transition from first grade to grade 6, right? And you just see this sort of what I like to call the heartfulness of the community. You see that the children tend to be more aware of their surroundings and of each other. And there's just this real sense of community amongst them, like acceptance, especially in an international school with so much diversity, which can be challenging, but also beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, wow. That's what I am envisioning your presence will be for Menstrual Awareness Day. Just this, your presence as a mindful being, encouraging others to have that same sense, like you said, with the students within the school. Because I really want this to be a community event. I want people to feel that they're connecting with other women, that they're connecting again with themselves, and really to be fully present in the space. How do we start doing that in our lives?
To being fully present? Well, I think as humans, we are conditioned at a very young age to constantly be thinking of the next thing. It's only recently that we've come to this point where we realize that we've been living life in the fast lane and it's catching up with us physically, emotionally, and mentally. So really, one of the key and most powerful practices of mindfulness is just learning how to slow things down, like really taking the time to sit in the moment and not try to do so many things at once, which is quite difficult, especially in this day and age with so much information and things to do, a never-ending things to do list. And if depending on how many hats you wear, as a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, brother, sister, I mean, there's, you name it, a best friend, a nephew, niece, but just allowing space for whatever it is that you're doing in that moment, it's just to focus on that, which is not so easy to do.
Yeah, I know. I walked into a glass door this week. I learned it's called texting casualties or texting accidents, or yeah. I was diagnosed today by a doctor. So it's actually a thing. And I was on my phone and somewhere else as I was walking into my building. And I walked head first into a glass door. And I'm still feeling, got the bruise on my knee, and just realizing that that was the first and the last. There's no need to be doing more than one thing at a time. Today I went out and I left my phone behind.
Right. Yeah. Well, good for you. I mean, you are organizing an event, so I think you deserve a pass.
I deserve a texting accident.
No.
I just need a big helmet. That's all.
No. What you're saying is a valid point. I mean, a lot of people are always wondering how they can do it because it's also a thing where someone, and especially with the teenagers I work with, like the first thing that they do is check their phone, and the last thing that they do before they go to bed is check their phone. So this is a real issue, and it's not just with the teenagers, it's with all of us. It's happening, so if you've come to that realization, then you're already ahead of most people, because a lot of people just accept that it's a part of what they do on a regular basis without understanding the consequences that come with that. So
yeah. I know I've started to make a practice in the morning where the first thing I do is listen to a meditation. And at night, I've made a promise not to check any messages after 8 p.m.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I try to do the same. I have what I call the sacred hour with my girls when I give them a bath. So I've started to, I go so far as to turn my phone off because as you know, these things happen where I go to check the phone. I'm just looking at the time and then I see a text message or, you know, and then I'm like, oh wait, but I better respond to that. So instead of getting caught up in all of that, I turn it off. I turn it off.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
yeah.
So the practice that what we're planning for Tuesday, how can people be ready for that? Is there something they need to do to prepare, or?
No, there's nothing. The only thing that I ask people to come and be is open and with a curious mind. But it sounds like the individuals that will be drawn to this event will be very much open-minded anyways, which is amazing that you're putting this together. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to, first and foremost, meet all the individuals that will be there.
Yeah, there's some amazing, well, everybody is amazing that's speaking. So yeah, I wanted to ask you
Sure.
one question, and I'll get you to, if you can give me one word or one sentence that answers the question. I'll just read it off here. What is needed to create a world in which women and girls are no longer limited because of their periods?
What is needed in a world in which women and young girls are no longer limited because of their periods? A level of, in one word. I can only say one word.
One word or one sentence?
Okay. I would say a level of openness, acceptance, and understanding.
Cool. Thank you.
Hmm.
Let me go back this idea. Cool. Yeah, so we're so happy, or I'm so happy that you're going to be with us on Tuesday, and your presence is going to be there. I know we were also talking about inviting women and their daughters to come along, or dads to bring their daughters as well. So knowing that teenagers are welcome and dads are welcome. There's this great initiative called Pads for Dads, encouraging fathers to get involved in the conversation as well. And yeah, really being fully present for what their daughters are experiencing. So yeah. So happy to see you on Tuesday, and thank you so much for talking to me today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I look forward to seeing you all on Tuesday.
Yeah, see you at the MAD event, Menstrual Awareness Day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.